Okay, Joe. Touch gloves, guys. Touch gloves.
Okay, final instructions from the rebel John Conway, just telling both corners to towel their men down. Any more water on Chris Johnson, and he could have gone for a 50-metre swim. Here we go, third and final round. I've got it 2-0 in favour of Smoke and Joe, and Johnson has to hope for a knockdown at least, if not a knockout, here in the final round.
Just saw a little bit of a slip on that big Sunday News canvas. Hopefully that's dried off. That's the problem. That's why you saw John the Rebel Conway telling both fighters to get rid of the water on their backs, otherwise it gets very, very slippery inside there.
No one likes a wet newspaper, Mikey.
Absolutely. I really would like to see Chris Johnson just faking a little bit more. He's just walking in, which is why Joe White has got his measure with the distance like that. Again, just catching him with the front kick, the lead leg teep front kick on the way in.
Johnson, will he be trying to set that right hand of his? The gymnastics haven't worked. They've been spectacular, but to no effect. High knees from Johnson.
One caution.
And you can see an official caution now from the rebel John Conway for the double knee and clinch of Joe White. You have to catch and release. Round kick there from White, off the lead leg. Right hand to the bread basket from Johnson. Oh, nice overhand right, and thanks for that, Joe White. Some of your sweat just flew on top of me.
We're right here close to the ringside. There's a beautifully timed left knee there from Joe White, but Chris Johnson came over the top with a nice right hand left uppercut, and he's just starting to back Joe White, rather, up a little bit there. Joe Johnson, haven't seen him fight for a few hundred years.
Untie your tongue, son. Straight right hand there from Johnson. Oh, pulverising right, a real ear rattler. Chris Johnson will be having trouble hearing after that one.
Well, not a lot on that from Joe White. He's not known as a big puncher, but all the time rattling up the points, and he really seemed to shake Chris Johnson there with that in a lovely combination.
Oh, here comes Smoke and Joe White. Uppercut from White, high knee from White. Chris Johnson taking more knocks to the front door. And Joe White trying to pull the head down for the big kibosh. Hasn't come for him yet. Chops away the lead thigh of Johnson.
Tell you what, Chris Johnson is going to be one sore boy tomorrow. He's just got to start to keep that left hand up, because he could be a victim to a right head kick coming soon.
Oh, spinning hook kick. Nicely executed at this late stage in the fight from Johnson, but really, what has he got left in the tank? Has he got the pepper to keep it going here with Smoke and Joe White? Tagging left hook outside thigh kick, only around 30% from White. He's also a little fatigued. Trade of hooks. Chris Johnson drew the short straw. Now they trade leg kicks downstairs. Glancing hook straight right hand. And there's the high knee. Johnson lining him up. He's going for the big KO in the final 30 seconds. The crowd now rallying behind Smoke and Joe White. Traps away to the outside lead thigh to high knee.
How tough is this boy, Chris Johnson, though? He's fighting back. He took 2 consecutive knees to the head and just waved Joe White on. As I said earlier, both these boys with concrete in their chins.
Well, Chris Johnson taking more shots than Margaret Brock during happy hour, and somehow he's still standing. Into the round, into the fight.
Well, Joe White walks away victorious, and there's David Tua, certainly impressed by that fight from Joe White. Have to say, 2-1 to the Kiwis, Mike. And the action coming up there, we saw Chris Johnson coming off the left knee with the uppercut. Joe White really going to town, upstairs and down with the hands and feet. Chris Johnson waving him on, and Joe White just obliging. And again, upstairs with that lethal left knee.
Smoke and Joe White can certainly be pleased with himself, as can the Professor of Pain, Philip Land. And Chris Johnson shaking his head. He hasn't done enough to get this one for Team Australia. And Mikey, you're right, this will be a victory for the Kiwis.
What came from Woodstock, Beverly Dakota, please come to the ring. Ladies and gentlemen, we have a unanimous decision. Fighting out of the red corner!
Well, there was never any doubt about it. This man is quiet. He's an introvert outside the ring, but inside the ring he let it all go. And that now, A victory to Smokin' Joe White makes it 2-1 in favour of Team New Zealand. Folks, don't forget, still to come here tonight, the big one you've been waiting for. The Chief Peter Graham of Australia and the new resident Kiwi, the Crussian Belarusian, the Red Scorpion, Alexei Ignashov, here at the Trust Stadium in Waitakere.
I'm with Smokin' Joe White from the opening bell. That was non-stop action. How tough was that?
It was really tough. Chris put up a really good battle, but I've been training hard, so I got the desired result.
Normally in K1, in the K1 style, you actually seem to be more at a disadvantage because you're very good with the kicks and the knees, but you have to let go. Does that make it tougher?
Yeah, there's a couple of times I want to let go of the elbow and double up the knees, but it's K1, that's just the rules.
Excellent. You looked good. We hope to see you again. Thanks for keeping the Kiwis in. 2-1.
Thanks a lot. Cheers.
Thanks.